So let's talk about it. Rick Pitino, Chauncey Billups. Was there a tip being pushed? And also for the record, let's look at something interesting. Rick Pitino got sanctioned by the NCAA when you remember he's in Louisville. They had to vacate their chip. Remember all the exploits that happened there? Now, call it coincidence or fate, but didn't Rick Pitino coach Chauncey Billups? Didn't he coach Damian Jones? And didn't he coach Terry Rozier in college? I'm just saying. He do look like Michael Corleone. And if somebody who's gotten away with doing what they wanted to do as a head coach was the guy that looked like the Catholic school guy, or he looked like the choir boy, or he looked like the altar boy, wouldn't it be Rick Pitino? Now, I'm not trying to say he had anything to do with all this, but then again, you got to kind of wonder, did he knowingly pass on some information that benefited these cats? Something that you could almost get away with. Because if you think about it, Rick Pitino is still a coach. He's coaching St. John's, the Catholic school. Remember, it's pretty good for a guy who had a championship vacated because of his negligence, who was busted on bribery but never got charged. Ain't it coincidental? Complexion for the protection, as you always know. And this is very much evident. You gotta kind of wonder how he keeps getting away with so much and he steals out there and no one has said anything about Rick Pitino. Very interesting. And I'm telling you the difference between Rick Pitino and Chauncey Billups. And he coached Chauncey. Yeah, he coached Chauncey, he coached Terry Rozier, and he coached Damian Jones. You know, one time you can say coincidence. 2 times you see a shadow. 3 times y'all marked as family. You take it how you want to take it. But that's how it looked to me. Maybe Pitino gave them some advice on how to gamble and do these things. I don't know. But it looks very suspect as all get out. And I just looked at Rick Pitino and he's still coaching and he's minding his business like there ain't nothing going on. And I say this because he would have to be curious about what has happened to him and these 3 guys. Wouldn't you be curious about your former guys that you coached? Wouldn't that bring something to you? Would that be something that you would have to kind of question about if that were the case? But I don't know. Wouldn't that be something that you kind of wondered about, that you were kind of like shrugging your shoulders about? Wouldn't it be something that you would kind of wonder like, does it make any sense? What does it say about anything? How's it come into play? How's it come into view? Would it make some sense? Or you just kind of like are indifferent? I don't know. You have to let me know about that. But anyway, yeah, I find it kind of odd that Rick Pitino talk about irony, the irony of it.